Hi, I'm Anita Adams. I am with First Weekend Club, and I'm here in Berlinale with the very talented Denis Côté. Hello, Denis.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for meeting with me today. Actually, for take two.
Yeah.
You're very generous. Thank you. So, your film is here at Berlinale, The Joy of Man's Desiring. And you're no stranger to Berlinale, are you?
Yeah, it's been 3 years in a row, so I feel like I'm a veteran or something. Last year I was in competition, 2 years ago in Forum, and now again in that section called Forum. So Forum is for more edgy films or more experimental films. But I feel comfortable in Berlin for sure. Yeah.
Well, you look very comfortable here. And your film is doing very well. You had a sold out screening with it the other night, and the audience really reacted positively, I felt, to the film. And we had a really interesting conversation with you after the film, and you were talking about what your intention was when you were making the film. And I thought it was really interesting. You're talking about you wanting to take the unexceptional and make it fascinating for an audience. And I think you accomplished that goal.
Yeah, because basically the film is 70 minutes of people working. I know it sounds very unspectacular or boring, but that was the goal. Not to be boring, but take unspectacular material and make something out of it that could be, I don't know, hypnotic or some sort of quality contemplation and just looking at people working. Can I find some poetry in that? So it's a kind of repetitive film, but hopefully at some point it finds some poetry, hopefully. So yeah.
I think you succeeded in that. I was fascinated. I was engaged. I wanted to know where this was going, what was happening with everything. And the sound quality was really interesting. I mean, it's the sound of machinery, but it's almost musical.
Yeah, it had to be that man versus machine kind of exercise. I like to say it's an essay film. So yeah, sound design wise, it had to be very, very, it's kind of complicated, but mostly sophisticated. So yeah, it's like a sound aggression, and then it slows down, and then it's more poetry. And then, so as you can see, it's not a narrative film. It's more like a collection of impressions about people working. So when people find their own, you can find your own lecture of a film like that, and that's what I like. I guess it's a free film and it's very open.
You said something else that, again, fascinated me when we were talking afterwards about creating accidents on screen and finding the magic in that. And I know I'm not paraphrasing you exactly correctly, but can you talk to that a little bit?
It's just that I wouldn't say I'm a documentary filmmaker. I like realism, I like reality, but I like to twist it at the same time. So I have a strong desire for fiction, but I don't want to create that fiction too much. So it's important to take what reality has to give you, but you're still the boss. You're still the one pulling the strings. So basically in the film, I film people working, but at some point I become the master of ceremony. So I think you should always trust what reality has to give you, but take it for yourself. Just don't stay there and film reality for what it is. Well, coming from someone who don't want to be a real documentary filmmaker. So yeah, and that reality can give you nice accidents, anything can happen. And so yeah, I made other films like that. So I just learned how to trust what reality has to give me, or non-professional actors, or just regular people. So yeah.
And the other thing you said was about having a vision and the importance of sticking to that vision. And you shared a story about working with, I guess, some producer, I'm not sure who it was, that was like, what the heck? What are you doing? Do you want to talk about that?
Well, I don't want to say something is good or bad, but I'm very, very DIY. I made a lot of underground films. I like to create small films with 3 or 4 people. But at the same time, I need to write dialogues, direct actors, and find bigger budgets. So, of course, I made a film called Vic and Flo Saw a Bear that was made for $2 million. So it's a totally different adventure for sure. For me, it's a bit harder because there's so many people involved. You have pressure from producers, distributors, and people are waiting something from you, and you need to make money. And But when I make those small films like Joy of Man's Desiring, I feel no pressure. You just feel so alive and free. And if it doesn't work, it's garbage, you know?
Right. It's just your thing. You can play, you can experiment, and you can find something for yourself that has meaning.
It doesn't cost much. I'm not. I won't lose my car, wife, house. You know, banks are not running after me. So you just experiment on small things, and you get to Berlin.
And that's a great place to be. Wow. And so, can you give some advice to filmmakers that are trying to get their projects made and make a name for themselves as a director, as you certainly have?
Yeah. Well, I visit schools a lot, like universities, colleges, and people studying cinema. And well, basically, young people think they should make a feature film as soon as possible. You know, because today everything is easy. You have small cameras. Everything is fast, fast, fast. So I would just advise them to make a lot of short films. Even if they're bad, just throw it in the garbage if they're bad. Make sure that you learn, you have a vision for yourself, and usually making a feature film before you're 30 years old is a bit, of course you can do it, but just take the time, make a lot of short films. I made like 15, 20 before making my first feature. So just shoot. Don't wait for money and wait for your big sci-fi saga when you're 25 years old. Just shoot with your friends and
a little camera and a couple friends.
Get experience, you know. And when I go to schools, I'm always worried that people are in such a hurry, you know. So, yeah.
I think that's really great advice. Well, thank you so much, and I really enjoyed watching your film. It was an experience for me to sit and see Joy of Man's Desiring.
It's not an easy title.
I know.
Right?
I want to try to say it in French too, and that just really messes
French
me up.
It can be hard as well.
Say it in French for me.
It's que ta joie demeure.
No, I'm not even going to try that. Thank you so much, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.